Hello and welcome to another edition of the Morning News Update. My name is Jessie Leonce. Tuning in, we thank you for tuning in. And if you're watching from Saint Lucia, residents from Saint Lucia, viewers from the diaspora, Saint Lucians in the diaspora, well-wishers in the diaspora, thank you so much for coming in to watch and listen to the updates from the government of Saint Lucia. I'm joined in studio by my colleague Carlton Cyril for today, Tuesday, the 23rd of June 2020. We continue with the updates. Today we have the resumption, the convening of parliamentary proceedings today, as well as an update on the funeral service, official funeral service for the late Joyce O'Geist, and that's scheduled for tomorrow. We have the details to that coming up in just a moment. Today is a United Nations Public Service Day, and St. Lucia joins in the observance. We do have a statement, an address coming from the Honorable Prime Minister lined up for you later this morning. We hear from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George. St. Lucia continues to be vigilant at this time of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have an update on testing that was conducted over the weekend, and we do have the results for you coming from Dr. Belmar-George. We do have some donations that have been recently made by the Republic of China and Taiwan, as well as a tank donation. That information is coming up also. We take a look back on Friday when the United Nations hosted an e-conference series, and the Prime Minister the Honorable Alan Chasney was a feature speaker, and we will be hearing some snippets from him as well. So do stay tuned for these updates and more coming up in just a moment. Carlton.
Merci tellement, Joyce. Joyce. Jessie, merci tellement. Nous avons dit bonjour à soi mardi et bon matin. Aujourd'hui, c'est le 23 juin qu'on l'a coutume. Nous ici à Centre Commande d'information. Kabao information, là il pour faire et puis nous ici à Saint Lucia, là il pour faire et puis Covid avec gouvernement avec ça qui a passé. Qu'on l'a coutume, nous avons dit bonjour et merci pour vous qui est sur Facebook, vous qui avez attention et bien écoutez nous à sur radio, toujours un plaisir pour nous et puis nous. Parmi bagaille nous avons discuté aujourd'hui qu'on l'a coutume encore si et moi, nous avons hodley, nous avons information, là, nous fait puis parlement, qui consiste à joindre Jordia, notamment, mademoiselle Joyce O'Geist, nous avons parlé à ça avec touché un titat, et nous avons hod premier ministre là, nous apprécions tellement ou toujours qu'à fait pour être ici et puis pour écouter développement avec information qu'on y pour faire et puis quand je dit nous ici et puis nous avons encouragé pour être et puis écouter pas de temps nous ba aussi information ça merci tellement qu'on nous continue le programme bon matin.
Thanks for that, Carlton. We are live on NTN. If you're watching at home on channel 122, but you need to leave the house, you can join us on your mobile. We are live on our Facebook page as well as the YouTube channel. So do tune in from there if you are on the go. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. We have these updates and more coming up in just a moment. If you are going out and about, we do hope that you take care. Individuals prone to respiratory illnesses. Sure. We are still living with this the Saharan dust that has come over, a plume of Saharan dust that has come over our neck of the woods, our part of the world, and we do hope that you are safe and sound and continue to protect yourself. And I mean, we've been making the argument for the masks for so long due to COVID-19. Oh, yeah. I think they would do well with this plume of Saharan dust that has come over us. So stay tuned. We have more updates coming up for you in just a moment. Go to a break.
She's been watching, waiting, wondering when the sands of time will give way to a tide of change, and for yesterday and today to become a new tomorrow, for a time when her sun can kiss the cheeks of your loved one and her stars can twinkle in her honeymoon skies, when her earthly embrace will reassure and calm your soul. And her unique view can change your whole perspective. Proudly, she has risen to meet new challenges and to provide safe harbor to all who reach her shores. For her hopes and dreams still stand, shoulder to shoulder, a precious reminder of experiences yet to come. So, wherever your moments and memories take you, let her sense of adventure set you free. She is Saint Lucia. Let her inspire you.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you're just joining us today, it's Tuesday, the 23rd of June. Today is World Public Service Day. We have an address from the Honorable Prime Minister Alan Chastney coming up in just a moment during the course of this program. In the meantime, we want to let you know that tomorrow will be the service for the late Joyce Auguste, cultural icon, and some information that we want to provide you with. The funeral service will be held, the official funeral service that will be taken care of, organized by the government of Saint Lucia, will be held at the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception. The service will be simulcast. That means it will be aired for viewing at other locations, and that will be other churches. That will be the Sacred Heart RC Church in Marcia, the Our Lady of Fatima La Clary, St. Joseph the Worker, Grosselet, and the Church of the Purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Labrie. So if you're not able to make it to the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception, of course, the protocols that have been established during COVID-19 will be enforced. So if one of these churches are closer to you, you can visit one of these churches to join and to fellowship with other persons who loved and enjoyed the life and work of Miss Joyce Auguste in ceremony. So that service, the official funeral service for Joyce Auguste, will be held at the Minor Basilica at the Immaculate Conception on Wednesday. That is tomorrow from 2 p.m. Please take note. Interment will be at the Shock Cemetery. We continue with news and updates this morning from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar George. She did provide us with an update at the top of the week, Monday afternoon. Take a listen.
Testing results received on the weekend indicated 98 negative test results. These results include many of the repatriated nationals. A total of 1,584 tests have been carried out to date. As we continue to live in a COVID-19 environment, we remind the public on measures to prevent the transmission of COVID-19. We note that generally, persons have relaxed their public health measures. As social activity has increased, the public is reminded to continue adhering to the recommended measures.
And those recommended measures include, we know it, the regular hand washing with soap and water, the use of alcohol-based sanitizer where soap and water are not available, covering your mouth with a disposable tissue or clothing when coughing or sneezing. It continues, wearing the mask, keep observing the 6-foot distance. We've said it so much, we do hope by now that the population has understood, has properly digested that information, and is taking advantage of every precaution, every measure to protect themselves and their families from COVID-19. Thankfully, we've had no new cases. We've so far still at the 19 confirmed cases, one being treated at the respiratory hospital as of June 22nd, 2020. That is yesterday. Testing results received on the weekend indicated that 98 negative test results came back. So please take note of that. Saint Lucia is in a very favorable position. We have countries worldwide that are still grappling. Some countries, their health sector has collapsed under the weight of the COVID-19 response. So we're very thankful to have the capacity that we do at this time, the renovation works that are ongoing at the respiratory hospital to bolster St. Lucia's response and capacity to dealing with COVID-19 at this time. We continue with news this morning, a Taiwanese donation. The government of St. Lucia continues to receive donations of personal protective equipment, PPEs, to aid frontline COVID-19 fighters on island. We have more in this report from Fernell Neptune.
St. Lucia's frontline workers will be better able to fight against COVID-19 following the donation of medical and personal protective equipment from the government of the Republic of China, Taiwan. Taiwanese ambassador to St. Lucia, His Excellency Douglas Shen, applauded the achievements of St. Lucia in the fight against COVID-19 and says his government is pleased to provide support.
As you may see, COVID-19 changed so many things. in this world. But there's one thing that never changed. That is the friendship between Taiwan and Saint Lucia. Today, I'm so excited to see the fourth batch of medical supplies from Taiwan to Saint Lucia. And this represents the love and the care of Taiwanese people and Taiwanese government to our friend in Saint Lucia.
Prime Minister of Saint Lucia, the Honorable Alan Chasney, expressed heartfelt gratitude to the government and people of Taiwan for the donation of medical equipment.
On behalf of, the people of Saint Lucia, I want to thank you and thank Taiwan for its very generous donations. And the timing of these donations is important because we have a very big hurdle to overcome, and let us not underestimate how difficult it is going to be to reopen our borders.
Minister for Health and Wellness, Senator the Honorable Mary Isaac, expressed appreciation of the diplomatic relations between the two countries. Senator the Honorable Mary Isaac also appealed to St. Lucians to work together to fight against COVID-19.
It is very important for the people of St. Lucia to remember that this is not over. We may well be getting the other wave that the WHO has been speaking of when we reopen our borders. We are standing ready to be able to fight this challenge, but we need every St. Lucian to come on board and be mindful that the virus is still with us, and we have to make every effort to follow the protocols, to continue to follow the protocols, so that we can keep our island and our people safe.
The government of the Republic of China, Taiwan, made a donation of masks, PCR machines, protective and isolation suits, to name a few. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fernell Neptune.
Thank you for that, Fernell. And we do have another donation coming up, and that is to several entities contributing to make St. Lucia's resilience against natural disasters. We have a donation of tanks, a report for that coming up in just a moment. More and more corporate entities, countries, friendly governments are pitching in to make sure that St. Lucia's capacity, St. Lucia's a front to deal with COVID-19, front to deal with the natural disasters. We're in smack dab in the hurricane season. We are getting some assistance, and we're very thankful for all of that. So the tank donation is coming up in just a moment. In the meantime, we want to remind you that today is UN Public Service Day. The significance and theme for 2020. This year, the United Nations Public Service Day is dedicated to all women and men who risk their lives and health amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. June 23rd serves as a recognition for all the brave and hard workers who are still working for the essential public services amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this includes people working in the healthcare sectors, delivery sectors, sanitation sectors, social welfare, education, transport, law enforcement, and all the public servants overall. These people are the ones who continue to work amidst the pandemic while others take shelter at their homes. Very important to note. And based on that, we have an address coming up from the Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Chasney, coming up later on in the broadcast. It will be premiering this morning, so we hope you could stay tuned for that. In the meantime, Honorable Alan Chasney was the featured speaker for a UN e-conference series, a consultation for action private sector for the COVID-19 response. That was on Friday. And the Prime Minister Chasney did indicate that the COVID-19 pandemic has placed the Caribbean region in a peculiar situation, presenting not only a health crisis, but an economic one as well. The Prime Minister explained that while the region has made progress in adjusting to the new normal and coexisting with the virus, it now has to face this economic crisis. And we have, experienced this firsthand in St. Lucia, being cash-strapped from government to the private sector. Honorable Chasney noted that some of the initiatives that must be taken in order to effectively respond to this crisis at hand.
Here is it, we're having to borrow monies to make up for
tax revenue shortfalls, as well as now having to increase the expenditures of government where everything says that you're supposed to contract. But you need to play a role in stimulating your local economy. And we've seen on an immediate basis that construction, maybe the ICT sector, and then hopefully down the road, the development of our small businesses. But how are small businesses going to get off the ground when they themselves have seen a significant loss of market and revenue? The banks themselves now, while very liquid, are giving moratoriums, and their balance sheets by the end of this year are going to look very bad. And therefore, the amount of revenue or investments that they're willing to make are going to be curtailed by their confidence in the economy being able to grow. And the genuine growth of our economies is only going to happen in a significant way when we are able to open up our global markets.
The Prime Minister did note that while efforts have been made to reopen our economies, our borders to benefit the tourism industry, the government continues to weigh in on the best possible protocols such as testing. He explained that testing in the United States of America, for example, is not readily available, as such discussions have been moved to the possibility of having tourists tested upon arrival. Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Chasney, noted that there are many benefits to be had from the tourism industry. He also disclosed some of the incentives to come on stream as the country, Saint Lucia, responds to the economic crisis brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic.
This idea that we've had where we've seen tourism segmented away from our businesses on a national basis, but deep inside, the two are fully already integrated. We need to take greater advantage of that. So my government is providing several incentives in the short term in terms of job stimulation. We were very lucky that we have several major capital projects, the airport project, hospital, police headquarters, road redevelopments, water projects that we're doing. We're putting an incentive where a contractor can buy 5 lots. We're allowing them to get all of their products duty-free and also a tax holiday to get people to agree to build 5 homes at the same time. This way we can start going after some of the smaller businesses. The SMMEs, money is going into the Saint Lucia Development Bank from the EU, as well as looking to see if we can reduce taxes and cost to the banks specifically to be lending money to the SMEs, because this is really where the future is. But the SMEs themselves must recognize that we can focus on the local market for the very short term, but they themselves are going to have to start looking more broadly competing on a global basis.
And that was the Honorable Prime Minister, Alan Chasney. Just to remind you once again, the funeral for the late Joyce O'Geist will be held tomorrow. It is an official funeral being organized by the government of Saint Lucia. The service will be held at the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception on Wednesday, June 24th at 2 p.m. The service will be simulcast at the following churches. So if you're not able to, of course, taking into consideration the protocols established during COVID-19, the simulcast will be aired at the various churches: the Sacred Heart RC Church at Marsha, Our Lady of Fatima, Leclerc, the St. Joseph the Worker Church, Grosselet, and the Church of the Purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Laborie. So please take note, the government of St. Lucia will host an official funeral service for the late Joyce O'Geist at the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception on Wednesday, that is tomorrow, 24th June from 2 p.m. Please keep in mind that there may not be seating for everyone at the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception. And so the service will be simulcast at the following churches: the Sacred Heart RC Church, Our Lady of Fatima, the St. Joseph the Worker Church in Grosselet, a Church of the Purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary in Laborie, and it will also be streamed live on NTN. So the channel for NTN is 122, and you could also join the live on our Facebook channel, that's Government of St. Lucia Facebook channel, as well as the Government of St. Lucia YouTube channel as well. So do stay tuned for that coming up tomorrow. Carlton?
Merci tellement, Jesse. Et nous remercions tellement pour être puis nous, quand nous continuons à information. Ici, en Saint-Commode, nous avons commencé quand la coutume, nous et puis c'est les mois, là, il pour faire, et puis COVID. Pour date, nous avons toujours 19 personnes qui ont trouvé qu'ils testé positif. 18 déjà recouverts, nous avons seulement qui ont traitement et puis il a allé bien tout bonnement. Nous avons head office 6 mois et puis pour date, il a dit, le week-end qui passé, nous avons 98 tests qui viennent toutes négatives. Parmi ces tests, c'est Saint Lucia nous jamais vu qui a repatrié. Parmi c'est ça qui a trouvé testé qui négatif. Merci Dieu, merci papa. Quand pour date, il a mené 1584 personnes qui a trouvé quoi testé. Là, si moi a dit yo ka continuer faire public là savent nous dans environnement toujours les venir pour Covid et puis ou ni pour faire assurer ou suivre protocole national mon katani constant mais quand nous commencer à vivre ouvert il bien important pour moun changer recommandation qui fait et puis ça on ni pour mettre en place qu'on nous a rabatté parmi eux qu'on nous toujours a dit ici à tous les bons matins nous voulons changer pour empêcher vermine s'immerger laver la main et puis savon l'eau sanitize la main l'eau passe à l'eau et puis là vini pour bouchon couvert bouchon néon et puis masque là qui c'est masque là qui venait ben si ou ni un cho had pour couvert fijayo ça bien important là où ka estionner avec là où ka tousser en coup de bois avec souple là où fait ça serviette là on servi été l'autre bagage là qu'a mandé là qu'a sorti hot CMO qui bien important c'est si ou ni pièce cécine là vini pour ka tousser là vini pour ka sentir ou pas ça prend l'expiration malade yon manière ben l'autre souple trouver corps dans yon en ces clinique là et puis bien important il dit là encore là où ka sorti aille en public ou ni pour mettre masso distance sociale dans 6 pieds on y pour chebe ça il bien important expressement là où en public avec là où ni masso attention comme on dit pour vous qui ni pièce maladie qui vulnérable yo ka do faire assurer ou prend toute médication ou ni pour prendre oui medo si ou savent ou jani un problème et que c'est pas qui bien important empêcher corps à l'écouter qui ni en chaimoun quoi ça veut dire wislan ka mener pli bas là vini pour nous et puis pour ces centres là qui responsable pour ces cliniques ça yo ka toujours ces places ça ouvert et que yo pas pour assister n'importe mon ba ou service qu'on oupe et besoin ministre qui responsable pour santé ka continuer des moun et bay moun toute information yo ka besoin les y vini pour ça quand nous ka ou ka payer attention pour ça c'est côté nous et puis Covid bon matin ka continuer ba développement ka savent jodia information ka sorti pour qui est peut-être intéressé les vini pour l'étement Maze Joyce Auguste et ben l'étement ça ka prend coup demain mercredi les 24 à 2h en l'église catholique là mais ou peut trouver qu'on informé as a résultat du protocole national ou savent l'église là pas ça point quantité monde qui peuvent venir pour la peine ou qu'ils savent ici à information c'est les venir pour l'église catholique marchand Sacred Heart les venir pour l'église la Cléry catholique la Cléry Our Lady of Fatima Saint Joseph the Worker en Gozile et puis les venir pour l'église Purification of Blessed Virgin Mary ça c'est Laboui toute c'est l'église ça tout veut qu'on informer au cas ça ouais ça yo kai mener service là pour y ka fait qu'on tout veut qu'on informer pour vous aussi qui peut-être pas ni chance pour pièce c'est côté ça kai ça fait en pièce c'est côté ça au cas yo ka faut savent date que les vini pour NTN au cas ça ouais ça à sous NTN Channel 122 et bien sur page Facebook gouvernement Saint Lucia. Quand on trouve qu'on informé ou qu'on savent, il c'était yon qui fait contribution au pays et puis yon qui était bon tout bonnement quoi. Quand nous ouais qu'il mettait quoi à poser, nous ka ba ou information ça trouver qu'on informé. Nous allons continuer ici à la coutume, au développement, à information, pour ça, ou quand ils savent, information qui vient là pour faire une donation. Le gouvernement République China, Taïwan. Et puis là, il a déjà fait une donation équipement pour ces gens qui ont combattu 20 000 Covid là. Là, il est venu pour Excellency M.C. Douglas Shin et qui a dit nous là, c'est un achievement cette ici a fait. Et puis, il est bien content pour une manière nous combattre et combattre COVID-19. Il dit, gouvernement, il plaît pour ouais ça. Et puis, parmi les choses il a dit, c'est un plaisir pour le gouvernement assister et faire ça, il peut by Saint Lucia. Il y a un bagay dit qui pas changer, là il vient pour l'amitié et là il vient pour manière des pays Saint Lucia et puis Taïwan. Il dit il bien plaît pour qualité relation et puis il a pour date qui yoka by 4e batch donation là il vient pour ces marchandises il représenter manière pays aimé et puis point Saint Lucia qu'on Jean. Premier ministre Saint Lucia, honorable Alan Chasney, j'ai dit, il a dit merci tout bonnement. Il a dit, lève niveau donation, ça, il joint, et puis c'est équipement, ça, il bien plaît. Puis il a dit, lève pour Jean Saint Lucia, et puis il a dit, merci tellement pour manière Taïwan, j'ai assisté nous expressément. Dans le temps qu'on a présent, il a dit date qui est bien important pour nous combattre le COVID-19. Là, on a une assistance et nous pas ni pour être quoi c'est pièce bagaille qui est expressément qu'on nous a ouvert pour permettre moun entrer en pays qu'on a tout fait qu'on informé. Aussi sénateur honorable Mary Isaac il fait appel là venu pour Saint Lucia. Il a dit nous travaillons ensemble pour combattre 20 000 Covid. Il dit bien important pour Saint Lucia changer toute bagaille pour passer nous pour vivre normal. Là il dit according pour information qu'a sorti c'est organisation qui est responsable pour santé en la WHO et il a dit là il vient ouvert bon nous préparer quoi parce que ou kay en l'autre cas en l'autre argumenté en c'est limoa là il vient pour Covid quand il a dit et nous pour changer nous ka rebattre 20 000 changer toute bagaille pour qu'on passer là au savent donation parmi bagaille c'était masse et c'était yon des équipements et puis soute pour ces gens qui directement en l'hôpital dans la cour yo ka prend care ces gens qui trouvé quoi yo testé positif. A parmi l'autre bagaille vous savent Jodia ka trouvé quoi observé qu'on joue service public puis là attention yo ka mettre attention à sous ces gens qui travaillent directement là ils viennent pour wabatter 20 000 Covid là nous ka parler c'est nurse là c'est docteur c'est gens pompiers c'est police là c'est gens ambulance là tout en parmi les autres qui jamais été quoi yo devant les venir pour faire travail yo ka assister nous concitoyens publics là là il a dit attention qu'on nous a célébré un jour service public kai sous ces monza plus développement là il pour faire et puis premier ministre là et puis Covid encore ou kai savent là sous une consultation qui tient place là et puis il fait ça sur internet sur social media ça y est puis premier ministre honorable Alan Chasney c'est yon qui parlait là il venu pour ça nous à présent en Caraïbes ça nous involvant dans là il venu pour combattre COVID-19 la premier ministre a dit pas du temps vision qu'a trouvé quoi pour ajuster pour ça qui a fait qui ça qui à présent qui semble normal là il a dit nous kay ni pour en manière pour vivre et puis 20 000. Il dit, pas simplement nous dans crisis, là il vini pour économie, excusez-moi. Il dit, là où aussi, nous n'ayons et puis santé. Pour la peine, il a dit qu'on nous vit ouvert. Nous n'y pour savent pays, chaque pays a dépendé à ce tourisme, mais il dit à présent, il y en a ces bagages là, il y a visiter, c'est date qui nous veiller, ben veiller qui manière possibilité pour tester moun les yo wive ici parmi discussion qui a aller. Il dit en chaque initiative là qui a mis en place, c'est pour qui manière nous peut combattre crisis COVID là et puis pour la peine il dit nous pas ni pour oublier là il vient pour département santé et puis ces gens qui directement involvés en centre commandement là yo ka faire rôle pour protéger et puis protéger citoyens et puis nous ni pour ça action yo ka prendre c'est pour enrichir nous toutes parmi l'autre bagaille qu'on a trouvé qu'on informé là ni pour faire et puis paroli Premier ministre. Nous allons continuer ici et plus développement avec information. Ou était en écoute et puis nous.
Thanks for that, Carlton. Coming up, Saint Lucia geared up to launch its economic recovery and resilience plan. Also, several entities partnered to help bolster Saint Lucia's resilience to natural disasters. We have those reports coming up after the break, as well as a premiere of the Prime Minister's address. The Honorable Alan Chasney will be speaking in observance of World Public Service Day today. Every year on June 23rd, the United Nations Public Service Day is celebrated as a tribute to the people who are associated with public service in all countries of the world. And this year, the United Nations Public Service Day is dedicated to all women and men who risk their lives and health amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. June 23rd serves as a recognition for all the brave and hard workers who are still working for the essential service amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. And here in St. Lucia, our local experience, it has been just that. Our frontliners, the nurses, the first responders, the police officers, ensuring that the protocols are enforced here on island. We thank them for putting their lives on the line, exposing themselves potentially to COVID-19 in order to keep the population safe at this time. Important to note, the United Nations is conducting a virtual event this year. I think it's happening now to bring the public servants and world leaders together to discuss the importance of the public service and the roles that they play in the community. Various different approaches of the different countries would be studied during these times that will help understand the mitigation aspects at various levels. So that is what the United Nations has slated for observing the World Public Service Day. And coming up after this break, we will be having the premiere in our local sphere, the premiere of the Honorable Prime Minister Alan Chasney in observance, address in observance of World Public Service Day. So stay tuned, we're due for another break.
With all that's happening around us, simple adjustments are necessary to keep us all safe. When calling 911, we may need a little more information to deploy the right personnel and protocols. You may be asked about your travel history, signs and symptoms, contact and movement history, and whether others in your household are exhibiting similar symptoms. Please be patient and cooperative during this time to ensure you receive the best possible care while keeping our first responders safe.
And now we premiere the address from the Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Chasney, speaking in observance of World Public Service Day today. Take a listen.
My fellow Saint Lucians, today we recognize worldwide Public Service Day to celebrate the value and virtue of the public service to the community. On behalf of the government, I would like to salute all public servants and all those who give public service, in whatever capacity, on this very important occasion. Your commitment to public service is commendable. Yours is the responsibility to translate the policies and the programs of the government into action for the benefit of the people. It is a tremendous responsibility, one that my government hopes you will continue to execute with integrity and professionalism, impartiality, and honesty. An effective public officer is one who goes above and beyond the call of duty to serve the interest of the greater good. We recognize that your efforts are always scrutinized and often criticized. Criticism that is not always warranted or justified, but also provides opportunities for reflection about your goals to determine what can be done to create better public value for the citizens. We've just recently witnessed in real time, and indeed we are all still witnessing it, the value of public service, as together as a nation, we fight the onslaught of the coronavirus. It is mainly public service personnel who've been in the forefront of this battle to keep our country and people safe. The results we've achieved are clear indication that you've all done a truly remarkable job and deserve the highest commendation from the rest of us. COVID-19 has actually taken us all into uncharted territory, which required everyone working together to achieve the desired results. In so doing, everyone was called on to play his or her part. Public officers were called on to make significant sacrifices in the line of duty, to care for the sick, to enforce law and order, to ensure the machinery of government continued to operate despite a drastic scaling down of activities, including a curfew. To our frontliners, police, firemen, correctional officers, customs officers, nurses, doctors, emergency and essential service workers, I say again a heartfelt thank you. Must also say a very special thank you to those individuals who supported the frontliners. You came from various ministries and departments. It was an extraordinary example of public service in action, which resonates with the theme of this year's Public Service Day observance. Action today, impact tomorrow, innovating and transforming public services and institutions to realize the Sustainable Development Goals. Government is constantly working to enhance the delivery of services to the people via our public service agencies. In 2019, we approved a significant budget for the implementation of the Digital Economy Integrated E-Services Platform, DigiGov, project which aims to put online 154 services across 13 agencies. This is a direct response to gaps identified in the delivery of timely, efficient, and transparent services offered by the government to the public and to the business sector. Also, the implementation of the Caribbean Regional Integration Project, CARCIP, is aimed at providing the infrastructure for government agencies to become more efficient and effective, whilst reducing government's overall communication bill. CARCIP does not only provide opportunities for the public sector to become more efficient, it can also be leveraged so that the private citizens can take advantage of it. I want to give the assurances that the government's efforts at transforming the public service will always place the well-being of staff at the forefront of its agenda. Our current efforts, though more digitally based, would require changes in processes, job descriptions, organizational structures, different approaches to training, and more. We recognize that substantial change management efforts will be required, which would involve all stakeholders, especially staff will be expected to deliver, but also themselves are recipients of the service. As we undertake these digital transformation exercises, we must be cognizant of the fact that we are mandated to do so in a manner that realizes the Sustainable Development Goals as identified by United Nations. These goals, agreed to and endorsed by 195 nations, aim at improving the lives of people in their country by the year 2030. In a study by the World Economic Forum and PricewaterhouseCoopers, it is suggested that 2/3 of the 169 targets underpin the Global Sustainable Development Goals could be bolstered by technological innovation, the objective of which is to improve services such as healthcare, education, and gender, to name a few. Some people may ask, is this possible bearing in mind our limited resources? This answer is a resounding yes. We experienced this possibility when we were called upon to innovate as a result of COVID-19. It was a first for us in telemedicine, where citizens were provided with the opportunity to connect a healthcare advisor via the telephone to receive a diagnosis and guidance on the treatment of symptoms. Parents, teachers, and children experienced the power of online learning. Obviously, there were challenges, but the experience, I am sure, would have been a fulfilling and even productive one for most. We were called on to innovate, and this required taking basic services to the people, especially the more vulnerable among us. No doubt there needs to be improvement, but the government stands committed to making this possible in light of the new reality brought on by COVID-19. As we journey on, we commit to leaving no one behind. This commitment is evident in the GINet project that seeks to bridge the digital divide and develop a more connected and enabled society. Again, we must strengthen and expand this to reach more individuals, but the efforts are obviously visible to all. All these innovations will help change the face of the public service for the better and bring rationale for the observance of this day into focus, which is to celebrate the value and the virtue of public service to the community. It is clear that we in Saint Lucia are moving positively in this direction. I wish all public service workers in Saint Lucia a happy Public Service Day. And once again, thank you for your support and your service to your country. May God bless you all.
That was a delivery there from the Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Chasney, speaking in observance of Public Service Day, thanking public officers who were called upon to make a great sacrifice, significant sacrifice during from the onset of COVID-19 here on island. We know the pandemic has created havoc globally, and Saint Lucia has been able to manage and maneuver very well, I must say, and very many thanks going out to the public servants who went above and beyond in their work to ensure that the population was protected by and large from COVID-19. He did thank the Royal Saint Lucia Police Force, Fire Service, correction staff at the Borderley Correctional Facility, customs officers, doctors, nurses, everyone who so far has been at the front line making sacrifices. At a time, Carlton, when there was the 24-hour lockdown, persons were asked to stay indoors because of this very scary, grave threat. We had these frontline workers who were out there exposing themselves and exposing potentially their families as well, you know, to this COVID-19 threat. And so on behalf of us here at the Government Information Service, we'd like to thank you, the frontliners. We have been, you know, understanding the extent of your work so far in the COVID-19 response. We thank you for your work. We thank you for your sacrifice and the extraordinary way that you've gone about trying to protect this population. The Prime Minister also did speak about the other efforts that are ongoing, talking about the DigiGov, the the plan to have 154 services that are provided by the government of Saint Lucia being available from across ministries and agencies being available online. And we know that that project is on stream, and soon we will be able to get word from the Department of the Public Service on where that project is at. Please note, today is being observed as a Public Service Day by the United Nations, today June 23rd. This year, the United Nations Public Service Day is dedicated to all women and men who risk their lives and health amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. June 23rd serves as a recognition for all the brave and hard workers who are still working for the essential public services amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. And the Honorable Prime Minister Alan Chasney there sending out a special thanks to those frontline workers in St. Lucia who've gone above and beyond. Our situation is we're very fortunate to be in 19 cases here on island. The capacity of the workers, the frontliners, working feverishly to make the transition. I remember the transition to OKEU Hospital, you know, the very feverish efforts of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force on the ground, ensuring that, you know, the law was enforced as it was adjusted to meet our situation, our unique situation to COVID-19. So again, thank you. Carlton?
Merci tellement, Jesse. Encore nous avons dit bonjour et merci pour vous écouter puis nous. Nous ici à Centre commande information au développement qu'on est pour faire depuis Covid et puis ça a fait ici à Saint Lucia. Où est là dans un moment là nous t'en honorable Premier ministre Alan Chasney qu'on a adressé à nation raison qui aujourd'hui le 23 juin c'est jour UN qui a observé qu'on journée public service